This is the Nokia N73, the spiritual successor to their best-selling N70 that the smartphone I doted on for quite a long time in the smartphone show, due to its small size and rather powerful camera. Again, there's a good camera in this device. This is perhaps the best stills camera I've ever seen in a camera phone. This is 3.2 megapixels and a quality Carl Zeiss lens, proper autofocus, decent sized LED flash, and very low noise in the photographs it takes. I've been very impressed by the N73. Let's start at the beginning though. This is a rather plasticky, shiny case that squeaks when you, hopefully you can hear that, when you squeeze it, and the back, the camera slide, does rather rattle. And if you look at the front, you've got a rather cheap and nasty chrome effect plastic. The joystick in particular just feels cheap and looks cheap. These chrome bits attract fingerprints, of course. You've got there are raised ridges at the top and bottom of each of the number pad keys. Again, this is just feels cheap in my view, and on a device that costs best part of £400 in the UK, I think they could have put some higher quality materials and used more metal in the construction of this device. Having got most of that out of the way, there are very few other downsides, so most of it from here on up is positive. Looking around the hardware, there's infrared port on the left, on the bottom is the standard pop port, and a rather fiddly, but I suppose protective, flap for hiding the mini SD slot. On the right hand side, buttons for zooming the camera or changing volume in music player or video player or in a phone call, so multiple function buttons, and they work very well. The main shutter button, of course, and an extra button new to the N73 which for gallery. If I press that and we wait a moment, up in landscape mode comes the main gallery for reviewing photos and videos that you've taken. It's not the fastest system in the world, I have to say, and the fact the camera itself is not the speediest. If I open the shutter on the back and wait, it's normally about 4 to 5 seconds before you can even see anything on the viewfinder. And then having taken a photo, you then have to wait another 2 or 3 seconds while it saves it to disk. And this all does mean you can't take those literally spur of the moment shots. You're going to need at least 10 seconds or so from starting to think of the shot until you actually take the photo. Now, composing thumbnails for each of your 3 megapixel images is not the fastest thing in the world. It takes a good 20 seconds or so, quite understandably, to decode each file and prepare a thumbnail. So if you've just taken 20 photographs, you're going to have to wait quite a long time for them to all appear in the image carousel. Now, Nokia have got around this rather cunningly. If I were to press exit on the back to exit gallery, you would have expected gallery to close down. Here I'm in the third-party utility Taskman, showing me what's actually running still on the smartphone. Gallery still here, chugging away in the background. And as far as I can see, this is so that if you've just taken lots of photos, you can close the smartphone up. You can perhaps even exit gallery, answer phone calls, or just put it in your pocket. Even if you explicitly tried to exit gallery, as perhaps a new user might, it's there working away in the background. And next time the user presses this review button, up it will come with the thumbnails of all 20 or 30 photographs already prepared. So the operating system is doing a lot of work in the background on this device. I think I see where they're coming from. When these images are now getting so large, you can't just prepare all the thumbnails immediately. You have to have a bit of thinking time. The N73 is a fairly standard Series 60 3rd edition smartphone. Nokia reorganised the icons yet again. I'm all in favour of reorganising when it makes more sense though, and I think they finally hit upon a sensible order and a sensible presentation for their N series here, with the main PIM apps at the top, then some multimedia and games, and then the third row is internet shortcuts, and the fourth row folders for anything else, like basic Office applications, including the read-only version of Quick Office, recorder, units converter, and a PDF viewer. And under Tools, all those 20 or 30 little fiddly icons which you only need to use once in a while. It's nice to see all of these finally in one place rather than scattered around the interface. And under Applications, there are a couple of extras there. including the radio, which I didn't find very sensitive, but it's still good enough for listening to local radio and catching up on news, and the main Series 60 web browser, which as ever is RAM hungry, but provides a good visual clue to the websites you're visiting. The music player on the N73 is the standard Series 60 3rd edition player, but with the addition of Nokia's Express Music brand, which means you get one-click synchronization with your Windows Media Player playlists. So Windows Media audio files are no problem at all. Everything's hunky-dory, and the music player is certainly quite capable. You get the full facilities like a music library and selecting tracks by artist, album, and so on. The only problem with the N73 is the volume. You change volume with the up and down on the jog dial or the zoom keys, depending on how you want to label them. But the problem is that even on maximum volume, as here, the volume's not very loud, even over speakers, as here. It's not exactly deafening, and if this is maximum volume over headphones, you'll find that a lot of pop and rock music, even on maximum volume, won't be loud enough to hear in, for example, a noisy bus station or a noisy train. But there we go. Maybe Nokia can do something about this in future hardware as it rolls off the manufacturing plant. The N73 is quad band, which basically means it will work anywhere in the world on all the different GSM frequencies. It's also 3G, of course, and Edge, so you can do fast downloading. If your data plan can stand it, you could even do song downloading straight to music player. It's 116 grams, which is pretty light, and even in this day and age. And the 2.4-inch screen is nothing short of gorgeous. You can probably see the colours here on the video podcast. But the fact that it's 2.4 inches rather than 2.1-inch diagonal, as on most Series 60 smartphones of the past, makes a big difference. It's 240 pixels by 320 down. Again, this is the new standard size for S60. And it seems to suit the fonts pretty well. But really the N73 is all about the camera. The cheap hardware in terms of perhaps finish and plasticky nature of the case, that they all serve and pale in comparison with its unique selling point, which is the fact that you've got this 3.2 megapixel high quality camera in the back. I'll put up on screen now and zoom in on one of my sample pictures I took at the shopping centre the other day. And I think you'll be amazed at the detail you can get, even zooming in 4 or 5 times using this lens. Very impressed indeed. So the Nokia N73, a lot of plus points, a few minus points. It's certainly a worthy successor to the N70, provided they can do something about the quality of the hardware. Creaks and flexes and rattles, they really don't endear a smartphone to me. I want something that's going to feel solid in my hands and something that feels like it's going to last a lifetime.